Hey, what's up guys? This is DJ Unprotected. So I wanted to make a video about preparing your track for mixing in your DAW. And essentially it's kind of 3 steps that I've come up with to help go from being the producer and then becoming the engineer of your own track. Right? For the past 8 years, I've had trouble answering this question of, what do I do in order to effectively make that transition? And I think I've figured it out. So I'd like to share these 3 steps with you. The first step is to record MIDI notes to audio. Why is that important? Well, because when I go from producing to engineering, I don't want to be distracted by having to deal with, I might want to change this MIDI phrase here, maybe update the melody. At that point, that production should be good. I shouldn't think as a producer does anymore. I should think as an engineer does. And so by eliminating the MIDI notes, I'm less inclined to be distracted to start making production decisions. Okay, so the second step is going to be breaking out your tracks into groups and routing them to their own aux track for mixing. For example, you want to send all of your drum and percussion elements to their own aux track, your instruments to their own aux track, and your vocals to their own aux track. So let me show you what I'm talking about. In Logic here, you can send your tracks through a bus to an aux track, right? In Pro Tools, you can do the same thing. In Reason, it's called, creating a bus, and it essentially does the same thing. So why is this important? Well, it kind of gives you the opportunity to listen to those important elements by themselves without being cluttered by other sounds, and then without getting distracted of having to scroll back and forth across your mixer to mute elements or what have you. So it's simple. I'll give you an example. You can just hit the solo button and then listen to all those tracks. So those are the drum elements, and if I want to do the same thing with my instruments, I can just do the same thing as well. And I actually saw this tip in a video by an engineer named Dave Darlington. A great engineer, was putting out excellent tips and tricks. His credentials are through the roof, so he's worth looking up. He recommended this, and so I followed suit, and I think it has been really helpful when I approach my mixes. Now, the third step that I'm going to recommend is importing 2 reference tracks. The first reference track is going to be what I call the demo track, right? This is the track that I bounce down when I'm finished producing. Before I take the steps of recording my MIDI files or my MIDI tracks to audio, I bounce down my current production. This is the same track that I send to my friends, that I let my fellow producers listen to kind of, see what they think about it, to get a critique on what the track sounds like. I bring this in here because sometimes when I'm producing, I may have an idea to add some reverb or some filters to a certain track, and I want to remind myself of those ideas when I approach mixing, because when I come into mix, I usually take away all of the plugins and anything I've had on the tracks. So this can be kind of a reminder of, some creative ideas that I had in the production process. Now, the second mix reference is going to be a commercial track, right? Something that fits the genre of something you're working with. I do a lot of EDM productions, so artists like Rehab, Calvin Harris, Lucky Date, just to name a few. Those are the type of tracks that I use as mix references, but that can't be missed. I mean, having a mix reference to listen to make sure your drums are sounding tight, to give you an idea of what you're shooting for, that is a priority. So again, just to recap, in order to help going from wearing the production cap to the engineer cap is going to be, first step, record all of your MIDI notes and tracks to audio. Then the second step is going to break out your tracks into different groups and route them into their own aux track, like sending all your drums, your instruments, and their vocals to their own aux tracks respectively. And the third step is going to be importing your 2 reference tracks, your demo track of the original bounced production, and the second one is a commercial level mix reference, relating to the style that you're producing or mixing in. All right, I hope this helps you guys out. I've been fortunate and have been working with a record label here in Texas, so this is one of my first tracks that I'll be releasing by the end of the year. I hope you stay tuned, subscribe. I'm going to be putting out more videos of some of the production tips and tricks that I've learned while using Logic as my primary DAW. And, as always, play it loud, have fun. Peace.